Hello guys, doing a short little video here. This video is going to center on the events of the past week and the events of a certain incident that occurred about 15, it was 16 years ago, I think, for the last event. So this was the incident that occurred last week. This is the National Weather Service's website. So July 26th, which was Tuesday of last week. And then there was the second incident that occurred on Thursday, July 28th, just 2 days later. Keep that in mind, by the way. Hold that thought. The event that happened 2 days later. That's gonna be important very shortly. So yeah, it goes without saying that this flooding situation that hit St. Louis was pretty darn significant. Very, very, very significant. And it was a training line of thunderstorms that just kept relentlessly hitting the same areas again and again and again and again. Just single file line of storms, just lining up and hitting the same areas. Yeah. They just marched in and did their damage. And then it happened again on the 28th. Only on the 28th, I think it basically was a slightly further south, but not by much. It was just slightly further south. Now, knowing that these two events last week played out, 2 events, 2 days, separated only by 1 day. Now, let's go back to the year 2006. The time frame, late July. Late July. Just like what happened last week. Late July. Now, guys, we all remember this event. If you live in St. Louis, you remember this event, or at least you should, because this is when the St. Louis power grid, our power grid from Ameren, got knocked out for weeks and weeks and months. People had no power for a very long time. And this was right in the middle of a heat wave. The first derecho, and it was classified as a derecho. The first one was on the 19th. And then there was a second one. Another derecho 2 days later. 2 days later. And it struck St. Louis area. Barely 36 hours after the first event on the 19th, another derecho. It was still developing, but it slammed into St. Louis. Just 2 days later, another derecho. So the takeaway from this is basically that when these things happen, there's 2 things to take note of. They happen in late July, and they happen in pairs. They happen in 2s. In this case, in both of these cases, they were 2 days apart from each other. 2 derechos striking St. Louis back in 2006. And 2 historic flash floods striking St. Louis 2 days apart from each other. July 26th and July 28th of 2022. Just 2 days apart. So those are the main takeaways of this connection here between these 2 major events that devastated St. Louis. The two derechos, however you wish to pronounce them. If you've never heard of derechos before, you should now know what they are. You should now have some idea, because as far as St. Louis goes, these things play a major role in our weather each and every single year. And of course, don't forget that, of course, these events were surrounded by heat waves that were affecting the St. Louis region. Back in 2006, there was a North American heat wave that was taking place at that time. And it was pretty darn impressive. So yeah. So just so you're aware, this event that happened last week, it's another event to add to the list of events that play out in a very particular way. There's usually a pair of events or two events. They occur in late July, and they tend to bring severe devastation to the St. Louis region. Granted that they were 16 years apart from each other, so that's something to consider. But yeah, so 2006 to 2022. Yeah, so there was a significant amount of time that had gone by. But still, these are very, very, very major events. And because it's happened before, well, it goes without saying that it's likely to happen again. And who knows, maybe climate change will bring it even sooner than later. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens, won't we? All right, well, that's what I wanted to show you. To all of you in St. Louis, I hope you took note of this. Late July, 2 sets of storms. That's when it happens.